Hello, I'm Nujra. In today's video, I will show you how to prepare for each boss in Random Dice. Each boss has a special ability and some are annoying to face. Some use magic and some use physical powers. When learning each bosses might be tough, this video will help you learn how to counter these annoying bosses faster. Let's get right into the video. Snake Boss is a tier 1 boss. You probably think this is a very easy boss to kill, and it is true since it was meant to be easy. It is the first boss that appears in co-op mode. The Snake Boss's ability is that it can spawn more mobs behind its tail like a snake. The cooldown time is 8 seconds. It spawns 3 mobs in total, 2 normal, 1 fast. And their health is based off of the current health of the Snake Boss. The normal ones are 10% and the fast ones are 5%. For example, the Snake Boss has 10,000 health, the normal ones will have 10% of that, which is 1,000, the smaller ones are gonna be 500. You don't necessarily need to do anything special in particular to counter this boss. Since it is the easiest boss to kill, I wouldn't say change anything on the field and leave it as it is. Just make sure that you have enough firepower to kill it though. Silencer Boss is a tier 2 boss. This boss is easy to kill once again since it doesn't change your field or anything. But it might be doomed for co-op support runners and stallers. This is the second boss you will see in Wave 20 in co-op mode. The Silencer Boss has an ability where it will lock 2 of your dice that are visible on the field. The cooldown time is 8 seconds. Locking a dice will completely disable it. For example, you cannot copy anything with a Joker, and mine dice won't work, and so on. But there are exceptions, and I don't know if this is a bug, but these are the examples that the ability is half affected. For example, elemental dice's orbiting balls aren't affected and will still be rotating around the dice. However, the dice itself will stop firing. Gear dice's percentage damage isn't lost, and it can be visually be seen by the user since the rate of the spinning gear on the gear dice isn't slowed down in any way. Again, the gear dice itself doesn't fire at all. If this is a bug, then we shall all abuse it. Also, this is why the element deck is the best deck in PvP. For Silencer Boss, what you want to do is you want to fill out your field with dice. For example, you have a 5-pip Melek and there are 5 in total dice on your field. This means that there is a 20% chance that your precious 5-pip Melek will be locked. But when you have 10 dice on the field, then that 20% will be decreased to 10. Always try to fill your field right before the Silencer Boss is spawned. The Night Boss is a tier 3 boss. This is the third boss you will see in Wave 30 of co-op mode. This is also one of the most hated boss in the community, which makes sense since it just completely randomizes and changes your field. It sometimes can be menacing, but sometimes can help when you have a 7-pip growth. As I said earlier, this boss's ability is to change your field completely. The cooldown is 8 seconds, and a fun fact, if your growth dice is on class 15, the max class upgradable, then your growth will change before the night changes it again into something else. In that situation, night actually wouldn't be that bad, since you will always get a +1 to every growth. But who on earth will be able to max out a growth when so many people around the globe is trying their best to unlock 1? Enough said, this is rather a simple ability, which makes PvP even more interesting and frustrating. What you need to do when you meet a night boss: 1. You pray that you won't get shitty dice. 2. The end. Nah, but for real though, what you need to do is you want to even out your pips on most of the dice. Here's an example that happened to my opponent in PvP. He had a 6 pip Typhoon and the rest of his field was 2 pips. The knight changed his field and guess what? His gorgeous looking 6 pip Typhoon became a 6 pip Joker. The rest of his deck was just random. Now, pay close attention to the 6 pip Joker. If he had his deck even it out to 4 pips, then even though his 4 pip would have changed it to a Joker, there is a chance that the other 4 pips would have turned into a Typhoon, right? This means that you can use the Joker to copy it to another Typhoon and potentially kill the boss. But since his Joker's pip was too high and thus he ran out of firepower, which caused him to lose. Magician Boss is the 4th tier boss. He can be found on Wave 40 as the 4th boss in co-op mode. He is also well known as
the Slayer of Landmine.
He has 3 abilities: Meteor, Cleanse, Self-Healing. Let's start with number 1, Meteor. The Meteor is a direct projectile that will directly affect your field similar to an Assassin. But unlike Assassin, once the Meteor hits, it completely removes the targeted dice. You can easily counter this by merging with another dice, also referred to as Meteor dodging. I don't recommend dodging when a high pip is getting targeted since this might remove 2 of your best dice. Next ability, Cleanse. Cleanse will remove any effect that is on the boss and on the field. These are the things that are included: landmines, spikes, shield, sand, frozen effect from blizzard and ice, teleport sign, infection, poison, lock, and absorb. You can visually see when it is immune to it by it displaying a round blue bubble looking thing. Last ability, Self-Healing. This is self-explanatory, the boss just heals itself. No data has been leaked on how much he heals, but I don't think it is done as a ratio number. When the boss has lower health, you can see the first number on their health change. But as the boss gets stronger, you cannot see the difference in the first number of the boss's health. By the way, these ability cooldowns are reduced to 5 seconds to make our lives harder. To prepare for this boss, you need to fill the field and make pips spread out evenly. The reason behind this is since it is almost guaranteed that you will get hit by a meteor, lower the chance of hitting your good dice. And the reason for evenly spreading is because you might need to dodge the incoming projectile. This boss is a massive counter to stalling dice like blizzard, sand, and so on. When slown, it will drop more meteors in total. Also, I don't recommend bringing teleport to co-op since it will just reset the boss right back at spawn, causing more meteors to drop. Leon is the 5th and final boss. It was just recently introduced and already received a nerf. This is the Wave 50 boss that you rarely see in co-op. It is very annoying to face against and is considered the hardest boss to beat. Leon has 2 abilities. One is a one-time use ability which is also inconveniently the first ability it uses. It is called Howl. And Leon will essentially howl at your field and downgrade half of the dice on the board. Very inconvenient once again. Luckily, it is only a one-time use, so there's that. The second ability and the more consistent one is Dash. It has a cooldown time of 5 seconds like the Magician and will basically dash towards the end like the name says. It is very scary to face against. What you want to do is try to merge all the 1 pips so that you don't lose half of your board. If you're very unlucky and encounter lots of Leons, then you can just pick up an Assassin deck which will make the game a lot easier. There really is no counter and good preparation to this boss, just the fact that you just don't want to leave 1 pips on your field. Thanks for watching this in-depth guide to countering and learning about bosses in Random Dice. If you want to see more content like this, smash the like button. Give me some suggestions for top 5 random dice content. That's it from me, and bye bye.